Welcome to Theme Weavers, your weekly wisdom for weaving yoga themes into your classes to inspire your students. We're your hosts, Heidi
and Farin. Welcome back to Theme Weavers, where we are in the middle, not the middle, we're pretty much at the beginning of a series. We're jumping into the first chakra, our root chakra.
You know what's at your root? The place where you twerk.
Is it really? I'm all looking down at my pelvis.
She had to look.
I was trying to imagine the chakra that's on top of that one. I'm like, which one is it though?
I mean, what?
Wait, what's number 2?
Sacral?
That's where you twerk from, no?
Isn't it like you stick your butt back? And to me, your butt is like, I'm like humping the floor right now. I can't do it. I'm like, you stick your butt back. What?
So all the listeners
It's getting hot in this closet.
All the listeners are going to learn from us today is which chakra you twerk with. This is essential information.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay.
Zip it. You got this.
If you aren't familiar with the chakras and why yogis enjoy learning and exploring them, or you want to learn about how to weave these teachings through your class, listen up. In case this is your first episode you're listening to, please check out episode 2 of Theme Weavers podcast for details and background on the structure of how and why to weave themes through your yoga classes. If you choose to use today's teaching on the chakras as your theme, while using the gift of our inspo sheets, please find a way to turn our voices into yours and make this theme authentic to you specifically. Because I bet you're not going to walk into a class and start talking about which chakra you might twork with. That's definitely
some people might.
I mean, maybe they will, but I think that's very authentic to me.
What song will be on your playlist as you walk in and be like, hey, which song? What's your twerk song?
Oh, I have a whole twerk playlist. I can't pick one.
No.
I'll send it to you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have a twerk playlist?
Absolutely. Do you not?
No, I do not. But most of my playlists you probably don't have either. It's like modern hippie yoga and like let's go fishing and like
Definitely don't have those. I do have lots of yoga playlists that I don't listen to except to play in class, but on my own time.
Sometimes I'll play my modern hippie yoga like playlist, which is not one that I'd play in class, but it's like when I want to get like all vibey for class, like get in the mood,
All right, I see it.
Boop. Keep going.
If you enjoy us, these crazy,
obviously you do,
crazy theme weavers, and the content that we have been sharing, please leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow our show.
Unless we offended you, what we're saying. Don't review us. Don't. Then don't.
Then don't. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Follow our show and find us on Instagram. Keep up to date with us and our fun reels and our posts that we share of when we have these crazy blooper moments. And we are so grateful. This is like all in truth. We are so grateful at how quickly Theme Weavers is growing. And that's because of each and every one of you listening out there. We're so grateful. And the more that you share and interact and the more energy and excitement that brings to us. So thank you.
Let's go into this, Farin. Today, I get the fun job of giving our Dharma talk on the first chakra, which is one of my favorites because I absolutely love grounding and feeling connected to the earth, which you wouldn't know by the speed of my speech and how much I enjoy talking, but whatever. So here we go. Before we start our asana practice, I want us to talk about and dig deeper into the first chakra, or Muladhara in Sanskrit. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Sanskrit expert? Great.
Muladhara,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Muladhara, often translated as the root chakra, is the foundation of our energetic system. It's located at the base of the spine and represents our sense of stability, security, and connection to the physical world. Just as a tree draws nourishment from its roots, the first chakra grounds us in the present moment and anchors us to the earth. Learning about the first chakra is so important because it forms the basis of our entire energy system. Like the roots of the tree I just mentioned, when our Muladhara is strong and balanced, we feel grounded and secure in ourselves. However, when it's blocked or imbalanced, we may experience feelings of insecurity, fear, or instability in our lives. I always think of it also like your house, where if the foundation is crumbly, like everything above it is going to be all sorts of out of whack and out of sorts and not very stable and not very safe. So when your root, your foundation, is either underactive or overactive, everything that rises above it, which we'll talk about in further episodes, is going to respond to that, right?
Yeah, that
Agreed?
reminds me. I went to to get a massage, but she's also like an energy worker and does aromatherapy and like all this like cool stuff with your massage package. And I was like, I feel like my throat chakra is messed up. Like I can't speak my truth. Like I don't know, my third eye chakra. Like I feel like everything up here is just like going crazy. And then when she like did the massage and did like her analysis of my body, she's like, it's your root chakra. That's why everything else feels out of alignment. It's your root. And I was like, oh, like I never thought about that one. So, but she was definitely right.
Spot on. I
Yeah.
thought about that one. Just thought I'd put that out there, but whatever. All right. So, how do we know if, like Farin, our first chakra is in balance or not in balance, right? Okay. So, when it's functioning optimally, we feel a sense of safety and security in ourselves and our environment. We trust in the abundance of the universe and we feel rooted in our bodies and the present moment. However, if the first chakra is too open, we might become overly materialistic or attached to the physical world, neglecting our spiritual growth. But on the other hand, if it's closed or blocked, we might experience chronic anxiety, financial instability, or a lack of connection to our bodies. Any of that resonate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. I would ask that in my Dharma talk. I ask people questions and I'm like, oh, I see you're nodding. You get me. You get me. This makes sense.
So when you just
They
asked
get
that
it.
right now, was that rhetorical or like you were asking me?
I mean, both.
Okay.
Like, you're my student right now. I am
Okay.
dharmaing you up.
Okay.
Like,
And I'm just
you
like,
get what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah, I'm eating it. Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's like that in my classrooms too. Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
Okay, so in today's, I know, it's great. It's fun.
Yeah.
In today's fast-paced world, many of us grapple with issues related to the first chakra. Whether it's financial worries, a sense of stability in our careers or relationships, or a lack of stability in our careers or relationships, or a feeling of disconnection from our bodies and the natural world, such as recording a podcast in your closet for hours. I mean, that makes you feel a little disconnected to the outside world, right? These are all signs that our Muladhara may be out of balance. We can also be out of balance in our first chakra when we truly lack stability in home, food, money, or resources. It's really hard to feel safe energetically when you truly are not safe physically, right? Like, I just want to repeat that for a minute, because if you're listening to this and you are lacking the basic fundamental needs of your life in order to feel safe and secure, like, you are going to not feel safe energetically because of that, right? And often, though, if we later on in our lives do find our safety, the first chakra energy might still have us feeling as if we are not stable and remains closed or blocked. So let me just like say that again for a hot second. If you are a young kid and you're growing up lacking a home, lacking the resources and clothing to match the seasons, so that way you're like not overheating or freezing, if you don't have heat, if you don't have money for food, like if you are lacking in your basic survival needs, and then you're able to grow up and live a life where all of a sudden, like not all of a sudden, after hard work and persevering, you do now have your physical safety needs met. A lot of the time, our chakra, the energy center, is stuck in where it was when we were a kid, and we still don't feel that we have our sense of stability and basic needs met, even though in the current moment we do.
Mm-hmm.
Are we like together here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that
okay,
up.
cool. You're welcome. Even though you didn't say thank you, you're welcome. Okay. But exploring our first chakra isn't without its challenges, right? It requires us, we talk about this a lot, we have to confront our deepest fears and insecurities, to look within and address the root causes of our imbalances. And it asks us to cultivate a sense of trust and faith in ourselves and the universe, even when life might feel uncertain, unstable, or just like not safe at all. So it's asking a lot of you. But if you do the work, and you update your energetic centers with where you are in this moment, or start to provide things that you need in this moment, like it's worth it, right? If we nurture our first chakra, we can experience this huge sense of grounding and security in ourselves. We can start to navigate the challenges of our life with greater resilience and grace, knowing that we're supported by the strong foundation of our being. We can cultivate deeper connections to the earth and all living beings, recognizing that we are all interconnected in the vast web of existence. As we move through our practice today, I invite you to bring your awareness to the base of your spine, to the seat of your Muladhara. Allow yourself to feel rooted and grounded like a tree firmly planted in the earth. And remember, the journey of self-discovery begins with the first step, right? The step of grounding yourself in the present moment and embracing all that lies within.
Cool. I loved that Dharma talk. So good.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite. No, it's not my favorite, but I have a few favorites. This is one of them.
Yeah. You're really good at grounding. I don't teach it that
I
often
need
because I'm
to.
just like, let's go. Like my classes are all like super crazy active and
Yeah, but that's funny because you're kind of like a very grounded person. Like you move at a slower pace than I do, and both like your words and actions. Like you seem much more grounded when we're in shared space together.
maybe that's why I
And
don't
I'm
teach
like,
it. Because I'm
that's
just
right.
like,
And I'm like,
I got it.
right? You got it, so you don't need it. You teach what you need. You need that higher energy, that like, let's go, let's freaking
Yeah.
go. And I need to be like, all right, I am going, and I now need to like, woo.
That's so interesting.
We teach what we need.
Yeah.
We
I think
resonate with
that's
what we
like a
need.
whole other podcast episode or something.
Write it down because our brains will not remember.
Nope, not at all. Mom
Nope,
brain.
my brain.
Okay, so after that Dharma talk, we have to think about a phrase that we repeat throughout the class. We call it dropping the hammer. So you're like boom, boom, boom with the same phrase throughout the class to help students come back to this idea of their first chakra, their root chakra, as they move their bodies. So some of these options might be root down and rise up.
It's one of my favorite phrases to say in a yoga class.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what song would be so good as you're saying that? That song "Rise Up" by what's her name, Audra Day or something Day.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs to play right before Shavasana.
Oh, I have a
Or
few
like it
favorites. That's one of
lingers
them.
into Shavasana. Yeah.
So good. What's the other one? I Am Light.
Is that her song too?
No, I feel like
That's India
it's
Ari.
India Ari. India Ari, I Am
Yeah.
Light. I love that song right before Shavasana.
I have that one
Oh,
too.
it gives me chills. Look at, we do have similarities in music sometimes.
Whoa. We need to look at each other's playlists.
Obviously.
Okay.
I've already looked at yours, so I'm not really sure why you haven't looked at mine. Just saying.
Oh my
All right, root down, rise up. Favorite. Love
Okay.
it.
And then another one you could use is feel the connection and support of the earth below you and the community around you.
That's a Heidi one too.
Yeah. I think I would say because like your root chakra is like your foundation. So I would try to say things like find your sense of stability here or like build a strong foundation in this posture.
So what I hear you doing is picking words that represent the root chakra and using those
Yeah.
without even like necessarily saying root chakra. You probably say a lot
Right.
of it in like an earthy voice too, and be a little bit more grounding in your practices.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe even something about the sense of safety. Like, can you allow your mat to be a safe space where all your needs are met for the next hour?
That's good.
It is pretty good. It just came to me.
We need to write that down too.
Yes. You have a lot to write down.
All right. So I think that's enough for thematic through line phrases.
Yeah, there's a bunch there.
Yeah. So let's talk about how we bring this alive in a class. What kind of peak postures do we use? Specific pranayama, a meditation you might lead. Like, what do you do?
I got one.
Yes.
I would pick a peak pose of side plank, Vashisthasana, with tree legs. And then I would extra peak it to, you can lift your tree and like grow your branches by lifting the foot off of your thigh, leaving it maybe a floating tree, right? Which makes it a little harder because you don't have the connection to press down. And then you could even take the foot off and then become wild thing. Take it back behind you.
Okay.
It'd be like a 3-parter.
That's a lot. For it being at like a grounding and stable class, that feels like a very like unstable posture.
All right, fair. I was just thinking about rooting and rising, and okay, fine. Maybe not wildling. That's too airy. But like, what if we just did side plank with the option of the tree leg? So that way you can think about the more that you root down into what's on the earth, the more everything else rises up to provide that sense of stability, that sense of balance, that sense of your hand and your foot that's on the ground is grounding you and connecting you for everything else to expand off of.
Yeah.
And it's a tree, and I
I think
love
that's
trees.
cool. What I first pictured though, when you said that the first time around, like I'm picturing us in a side plank with
Mhm,
tree legs, and
mhm.
then you're like, grow your tree. And I imagined myself lifting up into like a vertical tree. And I was like, how do are we levitating in a root chakra class? I don't know why my mind went there.
That's
Whew.
hysterical. No, we're not. But we can say, just like our root chakra, where you're trying to find that sense of safety and stability, life is not always going to give you that. So, what can you do with your body right now to help you feel more rooted, to help you feel more grounded, to help you find stability within an unstable experience?
Mhm. I like that too.
I know. I'm on fire
Yeah.
today. It's because it's my chakra, it's my jam. I'd
Love
also
it.
probably wear red at this class.
Yes.
Like if I'm planning it ahead, I would definitely have on red. And yeah, that's what I would do. I would try and embody as much rootery, rootery,
Rootery. Okay.
rootery,
Okay. I
rooting
see
as I
it.
can.
One thing that popped into my head was like, because it's literally like the root chakra, like the root, the base of your spine. I
Yes.
was thinking like boat pose, Navasana, because like you're sitting, but then also like your hands and your feet are like extended around and up. So it's like you literally have to root down on your root chakra only to like grow. And that's also really challenging and unstable.
I hate boat pose.
I've learned to embrace it.
I
It
remember you
is
told me
now
you did
one
it
of
like
my
every day for like a
faves.
year or something. I like to do things also like with a root class, like goddess or malasana, like any posture that's
Mm.
going to bring your tailbone down.
Pranayama?
I might do, I don't know that this has a name or anything, but like a visualization of like every time you inhale, a red light is coming down through your nose, through your body, all the way down to the base of your spine. And then as you exhale, visualize that same red light coming back up and out.
Okay. And it's red because root chakra is red.
Mm-hmm. That's the color that it
So
represents.
you're like breathing in a grounding energy.
All the way down. Mm-hmm. That's
Mhm.
colored red.
Okay.
You don't like it? I can feel it.
No,
You're
I'm
like,
just like,
you don't have to. It's okay.
I like that part, but then the exhale, do you want to send your grounding energy away from you? Does that even symbolize that? Am I overcomplicating this?
I'm closing my eyes because I'm trying to think. So when I inhale, picture that red light energy coming all the way down your spine to your root, to your base, to your sense of stability. And as you exhale, could you allow your mind to follow that red light as it travels, or maybe just as you exhale, like release the image of the color and let it stay at the base of your
Mm,
spine, grounding you. And with each inhalation, can you bring more red light, more of that grounding energy into your base, into your root, into your first chakra? And then when you exhale, just leave that energy to sit there. And it's like you're
mhm,
picturing like adding more and more light and grounding.
mhm.
I
I
kind of
like
like that.
that visualization better.
Yeah, no, I was just
Yeah.
like doing it right now as I'm
Mm,
saying it, like with my eyes closed, and
yeah.
I like feel very heavy in my pelvic floor. Like just the idea of bringing that light down and leaving it like actually created like an energetic sense of heaviness.
Yeah. I love that. That's like a pranayama with like meditation, visualization kind of like mixed together. There is um a meditation that I use sometimes that's it's very similar, almost exactly the same, but I use the image of a what is the thing with sand, the time
Oh,
that
like
you
a
flip
timer?
over? Yeah, there's a name for it though, right?
Like a
Sand.
Pictionary timer.
Pictionary timer? What are we in the 90s?
Or Scattergories. I love the game Scattergories. Please tell me you played
Oh,
Scattergories.
I love Scattergories too. We need to play together.
Such a good game. No, you're gonna whip my
Yes.
butt. You're like really good with words. Can it only be in English at least? You can't use your other language.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, fair. It's on.
But there has to be another word for this damn thing.
A timer. Just like a timer. Sands of time. The days of our lives.
You know what I picture is in Aladdin. Do you know the end scenes of Aladdin with like Jafar, and she was like trapped inside of the sand?
Obviously, I am
the
directing
sand
the
timer.
5th grade musical of Aladdin right now for the Broadway Cougars.
Do you have a giant sand timer that Jasmine gets stuck in?
No, because that's not in the Broadway musical. That's just in the Disney movie. Sorry.
Ew.
I'm gonna, while you are talking about your visual, I will look up what it's called. Tell me what you see.
Okay. Well, it's basically the same as that. I say that imagine the sand is pouring down through your body and weighing you down and allowing you to feel heavy and rooted and grounded. What is it called?
An hourglass.
An hourglass! You see? I knew there was a freaking word for that.
Sometimes referred to as a sand clock or a sand glass. Like other timepieces, it needs to be carefully calibrated.
A sand clock? Who the hell calls it that?
No, it's an hourglass.
Hourglass is what I've heard.
Yeah,
but
same.
Be fair, in Pictionary and Scattergories, the little timer, it's like a minute. It's a minute glass.
It'd be a long game otherwise. It would be a minute glass, not an hourglass. Yoga teachers, if this conversation inspired you to teach a class on the first chakra, your root chakra, Muladhara, then please download our pretty, beautiful themed inspo sheet found at themedweaversyoga.com/episode 32, where we list out additional inspiration related to the first chakra for you to help take your class on this theme to the next level. On that sheet, we include some inspirational quotes, which you haven't heard yet, some songs that bring the theme to life, one of which you already heard, Rise Up, rise like the day, you'll rise up. In spite of the age, we'll rise up. Okay, I'm done. As well as mantras, mudras, specific pranayama, postures, and meditation to weave into your class. And I will say every chakra has a seed sound, right? It has its own mantra and it has its own mudra hand symbol. So like there's a lot of content there for you. Really great for theming. Really great. Want to wrap it up, Farin?
The reverse Dharma talk. So the conclusion basically that you say when they're in Shavasana or coming out of Shavasana, I might say, as we prepare to conclude our practice today, I invite you to keep exploring the first chakra as you walk off the mat and into your daily life. Remember that you are supported by the earth beneath your feet with every step that you take, and that you have the power and potential to balance your root chakra. May you walk with confidence, knowing that you are grounded in the present moment.
I have another song. Remember that old song from like the 60s where she's like, I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky crumbling down, crumbling down. There's one. You're welcome.
Okay. Well,
okay. Yep, add it. Boom. Cool. Send it.
I'll go to send it. Go to our website, themeweaversyoga.com/episode 32. The link is in the show notes to request our inspo sheet for the first chakra to get all the songs that Heidi has been singing. You're so welcome. That you can bring the theme alive in your own voice and your own practice and teaching. Please reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, or send us an email. Let us know how it lands with your students. We're here to support you as a fellow yoga teacher in your class prep and delivery. So let us know how we can best support you. Tune in next week. Yes, please. Tune in next week for another episode of Theme Weavers, where we'll help you feel prepared to go on and inspire students in your next class. Remember, you can always go back to Season 1, Episode 2 to see how to weave themes throughout your class, the basic structure of doing that. But until next time,
we weave you in peace and earthiness and amazing stable foundations and love. Mwah.
Send it.
Send it.